News 46 is brought to you by Inspiration Senior Living, where we provide affordable elegance to Pahrump area seniors. Give us a call at 751-2300 and make an appointment to tour our community. News is also brought to you by Bees Embroidery and Garment Printing, specializing in custom and personalized decoration of gifts, garments, and more. Call 775-727-9444. News is also brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law. Call 727-9900 today for your free consultation. If you need a lawyer, you need Nelson.
Tonight on News 46, a stalking suspect is seen in court.
A vacant home is destroyed by fire.
And VIP All-Stars Gym is getting ready for competition. News 46 starts now.
You're watching KPVM News 46 with Deanna O'Donnell and Zach Reinert. News 46, local coverage you can count on.
Good evening. It's Wednesday, January 20th, 2016. I'm Deanna O'Donnell.
And I'm Zach Reinert for News 46.
A local man was in court this morning after negotiating what the judge calls a very good deal for the defendant. Judge Kent Jasperson told the attorneys before him this morning that defendant Jeff Stevens is not able to be on probation because he doesn't respect or abide by the law. He just does what he wants to do. Jeff Stevens was in court today in front of Judge Kent Jasperson to enter a plea agreement for his various crimes relating to drug possession and use, aggravated stalking of his estranged wife, Teresa Incaparo, and assault on a police officer, as well as resisting arrest with use of a firearm while violating a protection order. Stevens was finally captured after a 2-day manhunt when he attempted to make contact with his wife, Teresa, at the cancer victim's thrift store, which she owns. He had on him a shotgun, which officials alleged he was going to use on his wife in retaliation for separating from him. Teresa originally filed a restraining order on Jeff after learning that he was using drugs following a head-on collision he had near Shoshone. Stevens never obeyed the restraining order. In fact, he continued to threaten and make contact with his wife and blatantly disregarded law enforcement and the court's orders. He would state to Teresa that he was going to burn the house down and even drive his vehicle through her place of business, according to the victim. Jeff showed up at her home once again on December 16th after having numerous contact with police to stay away. The police were once again called and were able to make contact with him. However, after being placed under arrest, a scuffle ensued and Stevens reportedly attempted to grab the officer's weapon during the struggle. Stevens ran off after assaulting the officer. He was captured behind Walmart following a foot chase. Today, he accepted a plea deal of 5 to 29 years in prison. Judge Jasperson stated his dissatisfaction with the deal, saying Stevens is a danger to Teresa and the community and would like to see him serve more time. Both counsel for the prosecution and the state believe Stevens is suffering from mental illness and hope that he will get help while incarcerated. According to the prosecution, he should serve 8 to 10 years. He will return to court on February 29th for sentencing in district court. This is Deanna O'Donnell for News 46.
Desiree Lewis and Lee Daniels were seen in court yesterday for their formal arraignment following the arrest after allegedly shooting a woman in the leg in the cafe at the Pahrump Nugget on January 9th. The two fled the scene and were captured in Las Vegas the next day. The female victim was airlifted to UMC Trauma following the incident. She is expected to make a full recovery. Lewis and Daniels were charged with attempted murder and various other related charges. The incident reportedly occurred following an argument between two couples in the restaurant. The 46-year-old Daniels and 36-year-old Lewis had their bail lowered to $250,000 each and remain in custody at the Nye County Detention Center. A public defender was appointed to both defendants. Both of them reportedly have 3 children each, and Daniels was employed at Wings and Things and Draft Picks. Lewis worked at Best Western. Pre-trial for both suspects is February 3rd at 1:30. A preliminary hearing is scheduled February 11th at 9 a.m.
And an early morning structure fire lit up the night sky on the southwest side of town.
Just after 3:45 this morning, we were dispatched a report of a structure fire. There was unknown exactly what the location was because it was observed from different viewpoints throughout the community. We in fact found it on West Gamebird in the area of Jaco. Upon arrival, we had a two-story single-family dwelling. It was a vacant structure, however, it was fully involved with clearly fire through the roof.
Was this a stick-built home?
It was. It had been occupied up until approximately 5 years ago, where then it was repossessed by the bank, and now it is currently bank-owned.
And so, was this a complete loss?
It was. It was again, it was fully involved in our arrival. The fire well vented through the roof area. It was confined to the original building of origin. It didn't extend to any other buildings on the property. And of course, it didn't extend to any of the neighboring properties as well.
Was there an issue with gaining access to this?
Initially, we had precipitation yesterday. We had some significant rain throughout the valley. And as a result, this particular road access is a dirt road. And so the side roads were a little muddied, and as was the property, so it created some challenges and moving hand lines, things like that. We were extremely cautious on where we were placing the apparatus. We had to stay in the center part of the road, which didn't allow us good access for our water tenders to get to supply the engines. But overall, everything worked out well, and the fire was quickly placed under control. Defensive exterior attack using our master streams.
This had no electricity to the home. How did the fire start, do you know?
It's under investigation and is thought to be suspect in nature. We did have Valley Electric come out and evaluate whether or not there was any secondary means of power generation to the property, and there was not. And we also confirmed that, in fact, the meter was disconnected, so there was no power coming beyond the meter into the structure.
Will there be an investigation by the State Fire Marshal or Pahrump Valley Farm Rescue?
Due to the low dollar value on the property, the Deputy State Farm Marshal won't be assigned to this. However, we are looking closely at it. In fact, we had a very small rekindle of a piece of the structure this morning, and we were back out there, taking additional notes and photographs. We did have one minor firefighter injury in that fire last evening. One of our lieutenants had 2 nails go through his PPE during the overhaul phase and go into his hand. It was not a loss of time job injury. He was not hospitalized, but did get treated at the local hospital, and that was released.
And he'll be making a full recovery?
He will. He's on duty today.
News 46 will return in just a moment.